Hey y'all, it's Nim or Nim McCree if you're feeling professional, and welcome to the YouTube video. Now today, we're going to be talking about the healer speculation for 10.2.5. Who's getting buffed? Who's getting nerfed? Who's going to be left alone and forgotten? And I know you're all hoping for at least a small buff, or please leave me alone, I'm having fun with my numbers. But let's talk about that. Let's see what happens. And of course, this is wild speculation, so if I'm right, yay me. If I'm not, let me know in the comments below, of course, because as we know, that the world first kill happened tonight, the night I'm recording this, and things are going to change, especially now that the race to world first is over. So let's take a look, and without further ado, I think we'll get started with the healing one. So first, we're going to take our Disciplined Priest. Right now, Disciplined Priest is the best healer in the skilled hands, really. It is the best healer. Does damage, has excellent raid utility, is absolutely fantastic, especially at bursting weeks. You have Mass Dispel. It's fantastic. And the problem is, it's a skill build. So I don't really know where to put it. I think it's got a good chance of being nerfed. I think it's going to be brought down. I don't think it's definitely going to be nerfed, and what saves it there is that you actually have to play. You can't just cast. You have to require some setup there, from what I understand. So I think they're definitely getting at least a little bit of a nerf because, again, you run into god comps and problems there, and so that causes things to be nerfed. But overall, I believe Disc Priest will be in a good spot. It just may not be the top of the top of the top. Moving on, we have Holy Paladin. Okay, Holy Paladin's gonna be left alone and forgotten. I don't think they're gonna touch Holy Paladin. I think they're gonna leave it alone. Maybe do some minor tuning percentage-wise, but I don't think there's gonna be anything significant. It's already been nerfed because of the previous season's God comp. So now that that's been broken, they don't want to punish. I don't think they want to punish Holy Paladins any more than they do, but who knows? I could be wrong. We're going to move on to the Restoration Shaman. Okay, so Restoration Shaman, I think, is going to get a nerf. I think that all of the healers are generally, there's going to be a change because it's hard to create meaningful healing challenges that aren't just like one shots. Because so like as a paladin, right? I'm a great spot healer. As a Disc Priest, I can control damage coming out, especially if I know it's coming. The Shaman healer, with deep healing, the more damage they've taken, the more my mastery kicks in. As I understand, it's how deep healing works. So, and adds a percentage of the healing. So that's really good, especially with the beginning of the new raids, with Fated raids eventually coming out, and working with the Medrasil. I think that with people taking big tanking hits and trying to play a little bit more aggressively, I think Shamans have a good chance of being nerfed. Mistweaver Monks. Left alone and forgotten. I think Mistweaver Monks are going to be left alone and forgotten. Monks overall, I don't know that Blizzard really knows what to do with them. And for my monks who enjoy their playstyle, please, I hope that it never changes. I hope you enjoy it. But I think that Mistweavers are going, if anything, they might get, we're going to move them up to a good chance of getting buff, actually. I think they're going to get because I think monks are generally, from what I've seen in stats, are the least played class in World of Warcraft, and I think a buff could be helpful there. And maybe the WoW devs will agree with me. But yeah, I decided to move that up to good chance of getting buffed just because of representation. Moving on to Preservation Evoker. That one's gonna be left alone and forgotten. I think that Evokers, like Demon Hunters, are generally gonna ride out Dragonflight in a pretty good spot, but not necessarily top tier. Preservation Evoker is still a very strong class. I believe it still has Fury of the Aspects as well as I think it's like Haste of the Bronze. It's the buff that increases or decreases cooldown, that decreases the cooldown. So I think we can go there. Yeah, let's look over here. Oh, Source of Magic, of course, is absolutely fantastic. So it's one of those things there. And then of course, Devotion Aura and Mystic Touch from the monks. The monk has Mystic Touch, which is excellent for dealing increased physical damage, and the paladin, of course, has Devo, which just is a raid wide damage reduction, especially if you use Aura Mastery. Oh my God, Aura Mastery is so good. Love it, love it, love it. Now, let's continue on with our Holy Priest. Definitely getting buffed. Right now, I don't think Holy Priest is in a good spot. A lot of priests that I know are like, oh, we could use some stuff, because it comes down to like, oh, hey, you're a priest. Are you Disc? No? Okay, well, that's a community perception thing. And a nice set of buffs, even if it's only like, 10, 15%. ultimately, that's not going to kill a boss. That might save the person killing the boss, but it's not going to kill the boss. And so people can still make mistakes. And I think that the Holy Priest is definitely going to get buffed. In fact, I believe they have my favorite mastery of any healer, which is Echo of Light. So I like the idea of my mastery reproducing a certain amount of healing onto it. I really love. That's the coolest mastery to me. Now, that being said, is it the best mastery? No, it's not. But it is a really cool thing. So I think that Holy Priests are definitely getting buffed. And I'm going to put here with Restoration Druid. I also think Restoration Druid has a good chance of getting buffed. So, listen, Bear Druids are in... They're not in as good place as they were when they were the God comp, but I think that Restoration Druids will be in a good spot. I think they'll get a little buff, possibly to throughput, possibly to cooldown reduction, possibly to anything else. But I think that Restoration Druids are going to be in a good spot because of management, right? So if monks have low representation, Druids are having very high representation right now because of Midrasil. I mean, it's a Druid-themed patch, even though it has a strength legendary. Sure, okay, that's Fraxax, Farath, but I think the Druids, in order to help compensate for this, Druids are going to get a little bit of a buff. As I did in the DPS video, I think they're going to buff Boomy as well, and probably leave Feral alone as they don't know what to do with Feral, while Guardian Druid was already nerfed at the beginning of the patch, at the beginning of 10.2, so it's probably useful to just leave them alone. So yeah, there we go. That's my healing list. Definitely getting buffed, I believe, is the Holy Priest. Good chance of getting buffed. We have Mistweaver and Resto Druid. Left alone and forgotten, we're going to say, is going to be the Holy Paladin and Preservation Evoker, and a good chance of getting nerfed will be the Discipline Priest and the Resto Shaman. Now, again, this is all speculation, so tell me if you agree. Tell me if you don't. If I'm right, that's awesome. If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments, and we'll go from there. Hey, this was a fun video to make. We got one more to do, and it's on tanks. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and may the amount you're farming drop on the first kill. My name was Nim, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.